A yard can be full of healthy plants and still look wrong. Usually, the problem is not the plants themselves, it is that their size, shape, balance, and placement do not fit the house behind them. Hi, I'm Nick from Garden Guru. In this video, I'll show you 5 reasons landscaping can feel disconnected from a house, and how to make the two look like they were designed together. Let's get into it. 1. The scale is wrong. The first problem is scale. Every house has visual weight. A large 2-story home has more height, wall space, and architectural mass than a small ranch or cottage. The landscaping needs enough presence to relate to that structure. When tiny shrubs are placed along the base of a tall house, they can look weak and temporary, even when they are healthy and neatly maintained. The opposite problem happens when large, dense plants surround a smaller home. Instead of supporting the architecture, they begin to swallow it. Windows disappear. Walkways feel narrow. The house looks smaller, darker, and more crowded than it actually is. The planting bed itself matters too. A narrow strip of plants pressed against a wide facade often looks undersized because there is not enough depth to create meaningful layers. You do not need enormous plants or a massive bed. You need enough size and depth for the landscaping to hold its own against the house. A good starting point is to look at the major architectural masses. How tall is the house? How wide is the facade? Where are the large blank walls? Then choose a combination of low, medium, and taller plants that creates a gradual transition from the ground to the structure. The landscaping should soften the house, not disappear beneath it or cover it completely. 2. The plant shapes fight the architecture. The next issue is shape. Plants have forms just like houses do. Some are narrow and upright. Some are broad and spreading. Some are loose and informal. Others are dense, rounded, or strongly geometric. Those forms create a visual relationship with the architecture behind them. A long, low ranch house often benefits from planting that reinforces its horizontal character while adding a few carefully placed vertical accents. But if every plant is tall, narrow, and evenly spaced, the landscape can feel stiff and disconnected from the house. A modern home with strong horizontal lines and clean geometry can look overwhelmed by a collection of soft, billowing plants with no clear structure. And a cottage-style house can feel unnaturally rigid when surrounded by perfectly clipped spheres and formal rows. That does not mean every plant must copy the architecture. In fact, contrast can make a design more interesting. But the overall plant palette should still feel like it belongs with the house. Look at the dominant shapes in the architecture. Are the rooflines low and horizontal? Are the windows tall and narrow? Is the house formal and symmetrical, or loose and asymmetrical? Then repeat some of those forms in the landscaping while using contrast intentionally. A narrow plant might echo a tall window. A broad shrub might soften a long wall. A loose ornamental grass might add movement beside a rigid modern surface. The goal is not perfect matching. It is visual compatibility. 3. The balance is wrong. The third problem is balance. Some houses have obvious symmetry. The front door may sit in the center, with matching windows on either side. When the architecture is strongly symmetrical, completely random planting can make the yard feel unsettled. That does not mean every plant must be mirrored exactly, but the visual weight on each side should feel reasonably balanced. Other houses are naturally asymmetrical. The garage may dominate one side. The front door may be offset. One part of the facade may be taller than the other. Trying to force perfect mirror image landscaping onto that kind of house can feel artificial. Instead, use asymmetrical balance. A larger planting mass on one side might be balanced by a smaller tree, stronger color, or more height on the other. The elements do not have to match. They just need to carry similar visual weight. One of the easiest ways to evaluate this is to step back and ignore the individual plants. Look at the yard as a collection of large shapes. Does one side feel empty while the other feels overloaded? Is all the height concentrated in one corner? Does the garage feel even more dominant because nothing balances it? If the composition feels like it is tipping to one side, the problem may not be the plant selection. It may be how the planting mass is distributed across the facade. 4. The emphasis is in the wrong place. Balance asks whether the whole composition feels stable. Emphasis asks a different question. Where does your eye go first? The strongest plant, brightest color, largest bed, or tallest tree becomes a visual magnet. That attention should usually support an important part of the property. Often, that means the front entry. But many yards accidentally direct attention somewhere else. A bright flower bed may sit beside the garage, while the front door remains dark and visually ignored. A large shrub may dominate an empty corner that has no architectural importance. Several small planting areas may compete with one another without creating a clear focal point. The result can feel busy, but directionless. A strong design usually creates a visual hierarchy. There should be a primary area that attracts attention, supported by quieter secondary areas. For most front yards, the house and entry should remain the main event. The landscaping should guide the eye there. You can do that with a stronger plant grouping near the entry, a repeated color along the path gradually increasing height, a small ornamental tree framing the arrival, or a planting bed that visually connects the walkway to the house. This is also one of the ideas I use when working through the Fix My Yard workbook. It helps you diagnose where the yard feels disconnected, decide what deserves attention first, and build a more intentional plan instead of buying plants one at a time. You'll find the link below. The key is simple. Do not make every part of the yard equally loud. Decide where you want attention to go, and let the rest of the landscaping support it. 5. The entry is not being supported. The final problem is the entry. Your front door is not just part of the house. It is the destination of the entire front yard experience. The walkway, planting beds, trees, shrubs, and open space should help people understand where to go. But many landscapes treat the front door like an afterthought. The largest plants may block it. The strongest color may appear far away from it. The walkway may pass through empty lawn with no visual connection to the house. Or foundation plants may run evenly across the facade without acknowledging the entry at all. A stronger design creates a gradual sense of arrival. That may mean slightly taller plants near the outer corners of the house, lower planting near important windows, and more detail or color around the front door. It could also mean using repeated plants along the approach so the walkway feels connected to the landscape. The entry does not need to be dramatic. It just needs to be readable. Someone viewing the house from the street should understand where the front door is, how to reach it, and that the landscaping is helping guide them there. Keep major windows visible. Leave room for maintenance. Avoid planting large shrubs where they will need to be cut into unnatural shapes just to preserve access. A good entry planting should become easier and more convincing as it matures, not require constant correction to keep it functional. How to tell what your house needs. Here is a quick way to evaluate your own front yard. Stand across the street or take a photograph from the curb. Then temporarily ignore the individual plant varieties. Look only at the major shapes. Ask, does the landscaping feel large enough for the house? Do the plant forms relate to the architecture? Does the visual weight feel balanced? Where does my eye go first? Is the front door clear and supported? If the yard feels wrong, resist the urge to fix it by adding more plants. More plants often make the mismatch harder to see and more expensive to correct. Start by identifying the relationship that is missing. Maybe the house needs stronger scale. Maybe it needs more height on one side. Maybe the entry needs emphasis. Or maybe several unrelated plants need to become one stronger, more cohesive group. Once you understand the problem, plant selection becomes much easier. If you enjoy seeing these ideas applied to real yards, Garden Guru members can submit their own spaces for a chance to be selected for a Yard Lab redesign video. In those videos, I work through the homeowner's goals, constraints, layout, and style to show how the yard could function and look better as a complete design. Membership and submission details are linked below. If your landscaping does not fit your house, check 5 things. Make sure the plants and beds have enough scale for the architecture. Choose plant forms that relate to the lines and character of the house. Use symmetry or asymmetrical balance based on the facade you actually have. Put the strongest visual weight where you want attention to go. And use the landscape to support a clear, welcoming entry. The best front yards do not compete with the house. They make the house look more complete. Well, there you have it. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.